Today we got a rebuilt 1275 on the engine stand. So why is it on the engine stand if it's already been rebuilt? Well, because it's been rebuilt many years ago. A customer of mine just bought this thing off of Marketplace, where it was rebuilt a long time ago and was never actually made it into the car that was supposed to go in. And it was sold to him as a 10 over mild cam engine with a rib cage transmission at a price that would have made me go buy it too. Because even if you have to strip it down and go through it, for me it would have definitely been worth it. But once I found out about it, I wasn't going to step on his toes and try to buy it off underneath him unless he decided not to buy it. But he bought it. But it's been sitting at least 15 years, probably more. I think he knows, but I don't. But in that time, it's never been started and never even had a drop of oil put in it. So we want to tear into this thing and make sure everything looks good inside, because we know at a minimum it's likely that there's no lube left on the camshaft. So if he tries to start it, it'll wipe the cam, boom, and he'll be tearing it back out again. Another reason why I want to get into this thing is, like I said, he said it was a 10 over mild cam engine. We pulled a plug when he dropped it off, looked down inside there, and it is not 10 over. So we want to make sure what we got here. So I get all the plugs out here. We'll get the bore camera, look down in the cylinder wall, into the cylinders. Now hopefully we can see the screen really well here, but we get our camera down in here. Now the cylinder walls actually look nice and clean, no rust on them. But as we look down here, we can see it's actually a 30 over piston, not a 10 over piston. So we want to make sure that what's in here is actually what the guy says is in here. And we do have a little bit of, on the top of this cylinder here, a little bit of garbage there from this thing being sitting with, I don't know if it's had anything covering the ports or not, but yeah, we got that there. That one looks clean. Of course, we can turn it over and get these pistons down to the bottom. And then the number 4. So it was at least properly fogged or lubricated good on the cylinder walls. And supposedly the guy actually fogged the cylinder walls and turned it over occasionally to make sure it was still good. So that's a good thing, and that's the condition of cylinder walls does show that that's probably what he did. So when he first bought this, he wanted me to compression check it to make sure it was good. And then I was like, well, you know, the cam is probably not lubricated anymore after that many years. And unfortunately, being the newer series 1275 here, there's no side covers here, so we can't just take the push rods out, get the lifters out and all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and drop the oil pan and go from there to look to see what we got and try to get everything lubricated up properly without stripping the whole motor down. If we don't have to take the cylinder head off, we're not going to. Yeah, just enough trash in here from just sitting and crap getting in through open holes. That's a good idea to clean all this stuff out. So we can see the cam real well here, and you can see that just from turning it over by hand, there's no lube at all left on it. So we are going to want to re-lubricate everything here. We'll go ahead and pull a rod cap here, see what we can see, what size bearings they are, and if there's enough lube in there still. But it's looking fairly promising at this point. Can't say that I see a whole lot of A-Series engines through my shop for anything more than just basic tuning. But I have rebuilt quite a few B-Series engines and a few X-Pags. Matter of fact, I think the only A-Series engine I've actually had in here to be rebuilt didn't even need rebuilt. I ended up tuning it and sending the guy back home with it. Yeah, it looks like we got a decent amount of oil. I was worried about that many years and him turning it over that much that there might not be much in there. And those are Van der Waals bearings. Look like they're standard bearings too. There it goes. Well, there's still a reasonable amount of assembly lube in there. Once we prime the oil pump, it would be all right. Interestingly enough, they marked the caps from the front as 3, 2, 1 rather than 1, 2, 3. Standard. So this must have been a low mileage motor. All they had to do was just polish the crank. The more I'm looking at this thing, the more I wish I went and bought it for my Bugeye. But I believe he's putting this thing in a Bugeye Sprite along with the rib cage transmission that was on it. So I was a little bit worried about, as many years as it's been sitting, if the oil hadn't stayed on things well enough, could have started developing some rust in some areas of it, and that's one of the big things we wanted to double check, as well as making sure everything was lubed fine. Could be some slight concern about the piston rings now sitting as long as they did, not having as much tension as we'd like to have them have, but for what his intentions are for this motor, we're not going to worry about, taking it apart and putting rings in it. So without tearing this thing down a little further, we can't see any numbers on the cam to verify exactly what cam it is, but if it was just a stock replacement, it wouldn't be gold here. And that would be the crane cam. So that's one of the crane cams that was available at the time that this was put together. So it probably is the cam that they told him it was. So yeah, this will be a nice little performer in that Bugeye. So let's go ahead and take the valve cover off and take a look at what we see under there. Is there anything else under here other than stock components? I do have a 948 sitting that came with my Bugeye. I popped the valve cover off and found alloy caps and stuff on it. So one of these days we're going to tear that down to find out what's in it to see if it's got more than just stock, because the guy I got it from had no clue. Yeah, I don't like the way they did that. What I like to do is always glue the valve cover, or glue the gasket to the valve cover and then lubricate this surface with a little bit of oil, and then your valve cover will come off when you want to without shredding the gasket and having to replace it. Well, it looks like everything under here is pretty much just stock, but this one only has brand new valve springs in it, or at least new when it was rebuilt. So yeah, I think we're looking good. This engine just keeps looking better and better. So this engine's actually looking really good, better than I expected and as good as I hoped. So we should be able to just make sure everything's lubed up really good, put it back together, and then he can get it back in the car. But I will go ahead and replace all the rod nuts, since they are nylocks. I don't like reusing any of them. You should never reuse them, and I'm not sure if these were brand new or not, but since I'm replacing these two, we'll probably replace them all and go ahead and make sure everything's lubed good. But he's going to get this, he's hoping to get this motor back in the car and get it running into our May British Car Day Columbus here, which is at the Polaris Quaker Steak and Lube, and it's on May 17th. Now, if you're interested in going to that and you're in Ohio, or you really want to travel even out of state for it, we'll have a link to that in our Facebook page, our Union Jack Classics Facebook page, and we'll probably do a community post here coming up in the next few weeks as well. Now, we will be there. We're there every year. We're not 100% sure which cars we're taking yet, because the featured mark this year is actually just the orphan cars, the stuff that usually doesn't get featured, you know, the other cars that are not MG, Jaguar, Mini, Triumph, and all that. So we might try to get the Riley back up there this year. We may not, we'll see. So if you like what we do here on this channel and you would like to support us, I got a way you can support us without costing you anything extra. Actually, it would probably save you money. We put links in the description to things like the oil that we use here with VR1, and also the Castrol GTX Classic, and to our hand cleaner that I use here, which is the Cherry Bomb. It's the best of the not super expensive stuff to taking the fuel smell off your hands when you're messing with fuel systems. And all of those things will be cheaper in our links than you can get them for at any of the parts stores out there. So you can save yourself some money, and a couple bucks come back to us when you buy through there. And we'll try to see if we can put up some QR codes here, probably on this side over here, because if you're on a TV, you won't be able to click on the links in the description, so it gives you a way of doing that. Now also remember, everything you buy within that session, even if it's not those items, we could still get credit for if it's a qualifying purchase.